So yeah, so we're here really just to listen and get feedback and then present our notes to the Planning Commission. We are going to Planning Commission on, let me put that date out there real quick. Let's see what I have on my calendar. October 7th. So yeah, so Sean and I will take notes. We have the meeting recorded, and then we'll present what we hear tonight from the community on October 7th. So I pass it off to you, Anne.
Thank you, Guido. So I'm here representing the clients is John and Emmerich, which cannot be here today. So I'll currently share my screen. Can everyone see my screen right now?
Yep.
Great. So thank you to everyone here, and thank you to the city staff for working with us and providing us with constructive report and comments from the city's architect. We are currently still reviewing the report and will address the comments in our next submission. As we're still in the preliminary stages of the project, we are looking forward to listening to everyone's feedback and to address them before our next planning submission. Now I'll give a brief introduction to our project. The project is a 4-story residential condominium building with 12 units. 2 out of the 12 units will be below market rate units. The project is 46 feet tall, complying with city's base height plus density bonus height. The site area is 7,100 square feet and is currently used by 3,000 square feet, 2-story commercial building, which will be demolished and replaced. Looking at the site is bounded by First Street at the front, Whitney Street at the right, and the alley at the back. On First Street, you can see it's all smaller and older commercial buildings lining on the street. And adjacent right across from the site is the Draker's Market. Across the street from Whitney Street is the newly proposed 4-story condominium project. Walking down Whitney Street on the left is an older office building, which is right behind our site. And adjacent to that, it's a commercial building that has lined with green wall along the sidewalks. Going further down in the corner of 2nd Street and Whitney Street is a newer office building, which is the Packard Foundation headquarters. In terms of neighborhood developments, this map shows a few projects that are recently developed, approved, proposed, or currently in construction. As mentioned earlier, the project right across our site is the newly proposed 355 First Street, which is a 4-story condominium project. Going further down our First Street, the next closest project is another proposed 376 First Street project, which is a 4-story condominium residential project, also very similar scale to our current proposed site. All of these projects are all very unique in its own way and has a variety of architecture, styles, roof forms that enriches the neighborhood and the district. The project we're proposing will take in elements from the many proposed developments in the area. We hope to create an infill project that directly complements its adjacent neighborhood with the use of warm materials and a style of architecture that is appropriate to its surroundings. Moving on to the site plan, we are proposing on having a 1-level of concrete parking garage located at the ground floor with a total of 17 parking spaces. Due to the site being too narrow and small, we used parking lifts to achieve more parking stalls while still maintaining several surface parking for convenience. At least 1 parking stall is assigned to each unit. The trash and mechanical service rooms are placed at the back next to the alley. It makes it easy for trash pickups and maintenance to occur through the alley access. A live-work unit is placed at the front to line the garage and also create a nice storefront view from the street. Directly adjacent to the live-work is the lobby, which is also located at the front, which helps activate the street and pedestrian flow into the building. Moving to the building floor plans, we can see how it has a mixture of large units ranging from 1-bedroom units to an abundance of 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom units. The building is set back from the street with a landscape buffer in between. To make the building appear smaller, we step down the building on the upper floors. The units peel back gradually from the upper floors and is lined with large roof decks at the front. On this highest level is a common roof deck. Here are the elevations of the two street frontages. As previously mentioned, the common roof deck is located on top with a terrace with a roof trellis on top of that to cover it. We wanted the building to be layered to help break down the massing, to give more emphasis on the horizontality, to drop down the scale. We created a distinct base, middle, and top, with the top being recessed. We want to use a finer grain scale, many articulations and recesses. We stepped down the building, the massing, and broke down the roof line. We used glass balconies to contrast the adjacent solid massing. We tried to use the warm and quality materials to enhance the facade with a blend of wood-like tiles and large format stone porcelain tiles. As for the two other elevations, we also took in inspirations from the neighboring buildings. We decided to bring in a green wall to help screen and line our parking garage and to help create a landscape buffer to the pedestrians at street level. The elevations on Whitney Street wraps around the corner onto the alley to complete all four sides of the architecture. We addressed the adjacent sidewall by adding articulation with details and slight recesses instead of keeping a blank wall. In the building sections, we can easily see how the building is layered back and stepped back and recessed from the first street to create a more layering effect. There's a variety in the roof line and roof heights, with the main staircase and elevator being the tallest element, acting as in hierarchy. And that's my brief introduction of the project. I'm here to help answer any questions and hear any feedbacks. Thank you all.
Annie, Tom Barrera, he's from your team, right?
No, only Bill is from my team.
Bill, oh, okay, actually, so we do have some community members. Okay, so let's let, I mean, this is a little bit more informal than a public hearing. So, I mean, if everybody wants to speak for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So Mr. Bear, if you want to come speak first.
I'm happy to speak. I would really love to be able to say what a wonderful project this is and how well it fits in with the character of Los Altos and the streetscape of First Street, but it doesn't. This project, from almost every aspect, is an abject failure. And I don't understand whether the architects and/or the developer are oblivious to Los Altos or just don't give a damn. But let me talk specifically, and don't start with the damn timer. You hardly have any people here, so I should be given the courtesy of enough time to give intelligent comments. You've got 24 bedrooms, 12 units, only 17 parking spots, which is completely inadequate. There's not even any guest parking. You know, you've got a rear alleyway where there was an opportunity to put underground parking and you took the cheap way out. You're using vinyl windows. You know, read the design review guidelines. We don't allow vinyl windows in Los Altos. You're required to have a setback from the building facade. You know, this is easy stuff. You should be able to read and understand it. You've got a building that exceeds our height limit for reasons that are beyond your BMRs. And by the way, if you're going to put in BMRs, put them at very low income and make them the 2 and 3 bedroom units, not the crappy 1 bedroom units. You're adding plate height on the first floor. It's 14 feet. It can be as little as 8. You've got 10 feet on the second floor, it can be 8. You got 10 feet 6 on the third floor, it can, you know, you're adding unnecessary height in an area where we are sensitive to height. You know, again, you don't care, you're oblivious, I have no idea. Yes, you may be able to get a height exemption, but you don't need that much height. Your elevator shaft looks like a computer hard drive, you know, on space standing upright. Why isn't that set back? For God's sakes, it's 58 feet. It doesn't need to be. That should be set back from the street to minimize its impact. You have very little landscape on this project. Look around you. Look at the greenery we try and put throughout Los Altos, including the downtown, and a couple of climbing vines on your garage don't cut it. You know, this building is ugly. I can spell ugly if you don't know how to spell it. You know, 396 First Street was probably the ugliest project we approved in downtown Los Altos, and this one is uglier yet. Your roof trellis is ugly. It adds height. It does not add interest to the street. You've got a building which is facing the loading docks of Draegers. That's crazy. That's absolutely insanity. You know, if you build this building, I hope the Planning Commission in the city requires you to get a waiver from every homeowner saying that they will never have any right to complain about noise coming from the loading docks at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, this project is terrible. And I'm incredibly disappointed by the architects, by the developer, who at Dartmouth should have learned something beyond how to make money. He should have some values. I'm disappointed that the staff, I'm hoping, tried to give some useful guidance to the applicant, but this fails across so many metrics, it's embarrassing. And I'm happy to answer any questions the architects may have. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. We'll take that into consideration.
Ken Newman? Ken, did you want to speak on this item?
Yeah, hi. So I'm representing the American Legion post. It's now right next door, which I guess is on the elevator shaft, stairway side. And just a couple things that have come up with us right at the beginning. One is we have a ham antenna right at the if you're looking at the front of our building, it's on the right corner, the First Street side, and that's part of the neighborhood disaster preparedness network. So one of the concerns is whether or not if that height is going to impact our antenna. And the gentleman just noticed or mentioned noise waivers. You know, our building is rented out to parties and dances and a variety of things. There is some noise that does come out of that building up until, you know, say 9, 10 o'clock at night could be on weeknights, and particularly though on weekends. So I'm not sure if that's been taken into consideration. Also, you know, we're in the process of being designated as a historical site. I'm not sure if that has any impact. But yeah, for now, those are our initial comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Tom. Is that Tom? I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name, Tom. Tom Barrera. Tom, did you want to speak on this item, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. You know, I just happened to tune into this at the last minute, and appreciate if you wouldn't put that clock up. I can't see the picture of the building or anything.
Sure,
Can you
sure.
take the clock down?
Sure.
Thank you. I think John Baer made some really articulate, well thought out, and valid comments. I mean, he obviously has spent some time looking at the plans, and I mean, I think he was right on with most of the things he said. So I second what he has said. Just some things that quickly stuck out to me is in the presentation, it mentioned that the building was set back from the roadway. And I guess the best thing I could see on the plans was maybe there was 2 feet between the back of the sidewalk and the edge of the building. It's pretty poor setback in my mind. Unless the intent is to put the building right up to the curb, which essentially it is with that narrow a setback. Second of all, it's interesting to hear the American Legion building might be a historic building, especially with that 45-foot wall that's basically going to be up the side of it on the right-hand side as you face the building. The way this building is designed to me would make me think that there already are plans to take down the American Legion building and put up another building with a similar wall against it. Otherwise, that side of the building just doesn't seem to make any sense. To be windowless and a solid wall doesn't seem very consistent with something that would garner a historic designation. So I think that's way out of line. And the elevator shaft, I mean, it looks like a Pez dispenser, a giant Pez dispenser that's basically up against the side of the building. And it's right on the sidewalk. It's right up front. I mean, it just seems to be, there might be some better way to incorporate that into the design of the building. So I realize that First Street has become the home of it's going to become apartment row in Los Altos, and I kind of understand that, but I really think there needs to be some better thought in terms of some of these architectural designs that are being put on the site. I know they're trying to maximize square footage, but from an architectural perspective and just as a resident and looking at these buildings, I think there needs to be a little more thought in terms of what's put into the design and how they ultimately appear. So I think the architects got to go back to work a little bit and see if they can't do a better job. All right, that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe that's everybody from the public who has an opportunity to speak. We're really here in a listening mode. I don't know if Anne and the team wanted to respond now, or if you wanted to just collect the comments and then you can address some of the concerns at the Planning Commission. I leave that to the applicant. So.
Yeah, we're here with the very preliminary design stage. We're mostly trying to collect all the comments and respond later on in the Planning Commission. That's
Okay.
basically our plan.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that basically is the gist of this meeting. Yeah, we're going to Planning Commission October 7th. Sean is the staff planner. For those who commented tonight, if you are able to put your comments in writing so we can have that in the record so that we can make sure we accurately capture your comments and send those to the Planning Commission and the applicant, that would help us out. But if you can't, that's fine as well. I did record the meeting for tonight. So if there's not any more, we'll adjourn this meeting and we look forward to seeing people on October 7th.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for coming.
All right, thank you.
Let me end the meeting.
Guido?
Let me stop recording. Hold on.